Do we just chain big mums? Let's see where this takes us. Welcome back, crew. We have another Lakers leader for you today. We have Charlotte Pudding. Now, there was a request in my comments for me to check out Charlotte Pudding. Someone was interested to know, what is a better leader, Robin or Charlotte Pudding? Like, in terms of going rogue, which one do we go for here? And I thought I might give this one a go. This list is based on one of the winner lists that was early on in Japan. There are different variations to the list, and I think the biggest change is that they opt for the event searcher in addition, and they sort of reduce their numbers on this blocker. Not sure if there's a right or wrong answer. I mean, they were both topping, so who knows? I've gone for this list today just because I thought it might be a bit more relevant. I think we're going to find the pieces we need anyway, but I thought let's start here and have a look at this list. I do want to talk about this leader as a whole because I think it's really important to consider where it situated itself over in the East. Now, in their meta was a bit different to ours. One, they didn't have the ban list at the start, and two, they didn't have the starter deck, so it is a little bit different. Now, Pudding sort of did well at the start of their Eastern OP11 format. And the reason it sort of dropped off, it wasn't because of the aggro decks. I initially thought it was because of the aggro decks. It was more about the decks that started to emerge once the aggro decks established themselves as being contenders against Blue Purple Luffy. So once those decks sort of came through, those being decks like Lucci, and following Lucci you had Purple Luffy, once they came through, Pudding started to fall off. And on top of that, Green Purple Luffy sort of changed the way it played and had a much better matchup into Blue Purple Luffy once it sort of worked itself out. So those sort of decks then started to hinder Pudding. Pudding does really well into Blue Purple Luffy. I don't know if it does it consistently, but it does do it very well. So it does have that going for it. And I do have a Blue Purple Luffy matchup to show you today, to show you how strong this leader is, because when it fires, it goes off. It is insane. So I do want to show you that today, but I thought I'll also right now give you my thoughts on, should you choose Pudding or should you choose Robin as a good rogue option for this format. Now, here are my thoughts. So Pudding is very linear. She has a set way to play. She's basically ramping to get to her big characters, namely this Big Mum. And then she tries to dominate the board by basically dropping Big Mum after Big Mum, or these other bigs to restand her and just having this big board presence. This is akin to what Blue Purple Luffy is trying to do. I think Pudding can do it quicker than Blue Purple Luffy, but also being able to trash life gives that the pressure in her favor, so she has the advantage there. Now, because it's linear, if you don't get the game plan as you want, you're going to lose. And that is the downside to her, that she doesn't really have a way to adapt to the ever-changing meta and variety that's seen in the meta. If she ever emerged as a top contender, she will get countered very easily. So if people understand the matchup, they're going to do well into it. And back in the day when Yellow Katakuri was playing Big Mums, the way to beat Katakuri was basically to go wide and go hard early and put enough pressure on the Katakuri that the Big Mum would be ineffective, because if they did gain one life, you're wide enough that you can just take that life and go in, and they've got no Don up to do anything about it. So it basically puts you in a very compromised state. So if that doesn't work out for you, then you're going to lose. The thing I like about Robin is Robin still goes for that same sort of game plan that you're going to ramp and try and get your bigs out early, but she also has a lot going for her, that she is quite versatile in the way that she plays, and you can change your style very quickly and adapt to what's going on. So for that reason alone, I like versatility. I rate versatility over, one strong win con. I feel like that's going to get you a lot further. And if your, main win con is still strong against the strongest, then that's sort of how I would like to go. You will get big wins from Pudding, but I think in larger competitions, she's going to fall short because she's not going to be able to consistently perform against all these other decks. Anyway, that's sort of my take on Pudding. I do want you to check out this video that I'm about to show you because she goes hard into Blue Pepper Luffy. Really, really worth watching. And if, say, at locals, if you've got that person at locals that rocks up, thinking really highly of themselves, coming in with their Blue Pepper Luffy deck that's all blinged out, then you want to consider Pudding. You want to consider Pudding because what she does to this deck is very nice. All right, let's check it out now. Doing Pudding into Blue Pepper Luffy here. Everything's looking pretty good with our hand. I don't think we could ask for a better hand, actually. Everything we need is going for us in this game. It's a shame we're going second, but aside from that, we're good. What do we want? Another Big Mum? Do we just chain Big Mums? Let's see where it takes us. Let's see where this takes us. So, because we're going second, we need 2 ramps. We're not going to get 4. That's not happening. So we can get 1 ramp from Pudding's effect, and we can get a 2nd ramp from this card's effect. So let's counter this one. Just because we can. We're going to take a few hits in this game. And we do want to get to these Big Mums nice and safely here. So, can't play anything out. What we can do is we can make sure they take a hit here. Use card action. Okay, we have ramped. And showing the beige now means they are definitely going to make sure they hit first with this attack that's coming at us next. They take the life, end turn here. So, we don't really want to use this card as counter. We want to ramp with it. They just double ramped. They're going into their next turn. And they will be able to play out the Sunji Pudding. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. So we get an active Don here. I might play this out, use action and go 1 over. We might even be able to take another life here. If not, we get rid of a 2k. That's still great. That's still great. And we're going into 10 Don next turn. So we've got a beige at the top, so we're stopping 1 attack. We'll have 3. We'll go into our next turn with 3. We're looking really strong here. This is very strong. I mean, you're not going to get typically 3 Big Mums in your hand. Unlikely to have 2. Still can happen. But this is quite the exceptional hand. We are high rolling this whole game here. What are they going to do here? What are they going to do? Okay, we can't really stop this next attack. So we're just going to take this one and use the trigger to stop Bon Clay. I would imagine they're going to do a Sanji Big Mum or Sanji Katakuri. I'd be going for a Sanji Big Mum and going for the Katakuri next turn. And they don't know what's about to hit them. Okay, they don't have the Sanji, so they're just going for the hard play Big Mum, which is the right order, in my opinion. But they will struggle because the life that they gain is just going to get wiped this turn. And I don't know if they're going to place this to the top or not. Or bottom, top or bottom. I don't know if they're going to place it. They do place it. They give us an extra life. Not bad. Not bad. And we've got now the Rush Big Mum. Pure insanity. Gain a life. Trash a life. End turn. Just like that. We are happy over on this side of the camp here. Pudding is putting in the work. She is putting in the work. Holding these Big Mums over Luffy's head. I can see why this became a popular deck over in the East when this leader showed how strong it was. Okay, we can't defend it. We just take. Can't use that one. That's fine. Don't think we need to, and I think we save this to protect Big Mum anyway. And they now have a big attacker. They've got the Katakuri so they can restand Big Mum. And they are going to do that into us. Okay, we take that one as well. All right, so we're definitely going to attack into Bon Clay here. They lose the clay. I think we've got some decent defense now. Let's see what this one does. I think they want to hold their Katakuri. And just take the hit. We've got 4 attacks coming at us. 1, 2, 3. And we can defend the other one. We are feeling good here. Feeling very good here. Yep. So we could possibly drop this other Big Mum as a rush card as well. I don't think we're going to need this unless they've got another Big Mum up their sleeve. So I think the card we need to ditch is the Katakuri. We've got the 2 categories possibly. So we've got a 3k here, a 3k here, a 2 and a 2 is 10k in defense that we have for this turn, and we only need to block 1 attack. So they have a really tough decision ahead of them. Okay, they're dropping the first one into us. I think we need to counter. I think we counter this, and if they attack into our Big Mum, they're still in trouble. So we're going to counter. we counter with this one and then a 2k. Easy. So I imagine they need to refocus their target now. The only other card that they could use to their benefit would be the Rush Luffy. But if they play the Rush Luffy, they're not going to have enough strength for this one anyway. So we're still not worried about that. But it would be their only out that they could see. Okay, they're not going for that. They're going for Big Mum now. Will they try another one into her? Not sure. But we're going to counter this one anyway. And this is going to seal the deal here. Trying again. We counter that as well. And they can have the pudding. I'll give them that. All right, so they've got one up for Giant. They've got a bunch of cards in hand. So what's the most they can have here is 4. Ditch 1. Get another 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 16, 20. At most 20k encounter. At most 20k encounter. Let's just throw one, see what happens here. I think we could be good. Okay, they're busting out all stops nice and early. Another 2 cards to ditch. 1, 2. All right, now we're going to have to play out this. See what happens here. If they can defend this, then we are in trouble. And maybe we play out this Big Mum instead. But, okay, they just win. Sorry, we just win. They couldn't defend it. What did they have left here? They got a 1 and 3. Okay. Yeah, and so we were coming through. They had to defend that, and then we could just come through and drop this one. The rush actually wouldn't have helped us because we can't use the Don minus effect without knowing what their next card is. So, I mean, we could have guessed. We could have guessed it was going to be a 9 cost. Maybe it was still worth using this card against this deck. And maybe this is another good reason why Pudding could be strong against Blue Purple Luffy. Anyway, that is Pudding into Blue Purple Luffy. Hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you did, drop a like. Comment away. Let me know what your thoughts are on this deck. I'd love to hear from you guys and get your take on if you think this one is actually a viable deck for this format. Let me know in the comments, and until next time, look after yourselves and look after your decks.